Shout out Bruce Gas, aka Toka 2. You know I had to drop a track for my boy. Yeah, been in your rapping boys out here telling favors. I'm the hardest young nigga, I ain't signed to no label. Hey, Bruce Gas put the number fights on the table. I'm calling that box since Kane versus Abel. Smoking so much gas, you would think that shit was fatal. All the people sample like Muhammad Ali. Shut up, Bruce Gas, one day we gon' meet. Yeah, we gon' blow it down, we gon' smoke hella weed. Yeah, we gon' blow it down, take a hit out the Toka 2. Slipping hella shots, feel like Tyson with the people. Little Glock on my side, but it hit just like Isaac Cruz. Shut up, man, chat, real shit, that's my fucking dude. We always cooking on the panel. Strapped to my side, I ain't talking about no sandals. Bruce passed me the blunt, I'ma light it like a candle. Ayy, non-stop bars, man, I always spit flames. Feel like Bruce Gas always got a different strain. Bitch, you ain't like me, you can never feel my pain. You win and you lose, well, this a fight game. Don't beef on the net and the shit won't change. Said that on the stream, gotta do it for the game. Said that on the stream, gotta do it for the chat. I ain't undisputed. Yeah, hold on, I ain't undisputed, but I want all the straps.
I think it's working. I think it's working. Good afternoon, everybody, man. This is Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and more. I'm over here with my good friend, the manager of Michael the Bounty Hunter, the advisor, the boxing aficionado, Miles Bailey himself. And after all this trying and everything, man, look who's come in the back too, man. I've got the number one U.S. heavyweight contender himself.
There he is. That's my man Mike. Let's go, Bounty Hunter. Yeah.
Let's try to make sure.
Hey, Bruce. I'm gonna start off real quick with the guys I'm working with. Of course, Mike. The next best thing since sliced bread. I want y'all to know that. 25-1, 150 amateur fights, 2 losses, 2-time Olympian. Siobhan Stillwell 4-0, 4 knockouts. Israel Mercado 12-1 and 2, 12 wins, 1 loss, 2. He just fought the other night. And Demetrius Long, a debuter. But this is all about the Bounty Hunter. So that's what I want you to get into. Miles Bailey and the man, the myth, the legend. There he is. Okay, Bruce, take off.
Absolutely, man. You know, I'm in ecstasy over here, man. You know, I'm an aficionado of heavyweight boxing. I've been following heavyweight boxing since I saw George Chuvalo and Jerry Corey banging their heads together in Madison Square Garden back in 1971. And man, I haven't looked back. And I've talked to a lot of great champions. I've talked to contenders. I've talked to boxers from all over the world. And it's a pleasure to have the number 1 ranked American heavyweight in here. He's ranked number 2. Miles, we got some background. Okay, they're cool. He's ranked number 9 in the WBA. I mean, this is a world-class heavyweight, and it's an honor to have him on here. Michael the Bounty Hunter. Salute, my brother.
I'm good. How you doing?
Doing great, man. Doing great. I'm glad we got this show on the road. You know, I'm from that generation where when I get in the elevator, I'd have some guy press the buttons for me to get on the 5th floor. I'm computer illiterate. Miles doesn't know any better. I thought we were gonna have some problems getting you on here, bro, but we're good to go, man.
I appreciate it, man. Well, thank you for having me on the show. You know, I've been pushing for a long time and constantly on a mission. I've always explained, like, you know, there's 2 different type of fighters. You know, there's the ones that are, you know, the popular superstars right now, and then there's the ones that they make movies about. And you know, I'm on that side where they make movies about me. So that's what we're working on, you know, with Miles and the rest of the team. You know, we're slowly pushing, but for surely pushing.
Michael, the heavyweight division is on fire right now. In fact, even one of your former victims, Martin Bacoli, he's getting ready to step up and take on a big fight with Effie Ajagba. And I mean, we're hearing all these fighters, and a lot of these guys you cross paths with in the amateurs and the pros. How come we're not hearing Michael the Bounty Hunter up in this mix?
Well, a lot of it has to do with you know, just getting bad promotion. You know, having a hard. It's very hard to promote somebody who is a high risk. Regardless of whatever the reward is. If the risk is very high, then the reward isn't high enough. So, and we've seen fighters, or many fighters throughout the past. You know, Mike McCullum, Terrence Crawford, until they had their break. Floyd Mayweather, when you're like you have a track record to be a bona fide fighter, or you have a great amateur extensive background, and you're not uh, promoted and grabbed right from the get go as you're an amateur. Like some of my guys, like Earl Spence was like that, and put in a good position from the jump. Sometimes it could get difficult being the type of fighter that I am, and it's it's something that's repeated itself over and over in history. So I'm not the first person that's had to deal with it, and I won't be the last. But hopefully that my story will prevail at the end of the day.
I hear you, bro. And man, I remember watching your dad. You must have been involved in boxing all your life. I remember watching the original Mike the Bounty Hunter, and he fought everybody, man. He fought a Hall of Fame resume. I mean, there was nobody out there he didn't fight. Were you weaned on boxing from day one? Was boxing
Yeah,
just
well, and most of those days, the time, well, not all of those days, times that he fought him were on days' notice. He never really got an actual break in. That's the thing that I'm talking about is they make stories about and the things that we don't really get to see behind the scenes in boxing or having to deal with. I always try to compare. If you ever watched the fight, if you ever played the fight night game, and you play the career mode on some of those fights you can't knock the guy out, or you come in with half your conditioning and all that. It's always tweaked. You know what I'm saying? And that's how most of my fights, especially when you're on the B side, it's never just a straight fair one. You always have to work accordingly and know what type of playing field you're on. Whether you have to win the fight, whether you have to knock the guy out to win the fight, and what type of fashion or what playing field you're on, what environment you're fighting in, and that's something that isn't really seen amongst the the public, and that's something that a lot of those fighters that they make the movies about have to deal with for the most part, and usually triumph and get through that. So, yeah, my name hasn't been a while, but my dad's had the same issue. He wasn't the most popular fighter. He fought with sparred with Mike Tyson for several years, and if you asked him how hard Mike Tyson hit, he would tell you I couldn't answer that because out of the years we sparred, he never hit me, and I bear witness to that. You know what I'm saying? I was a little boy in those days, and that's how all of these guys, the older guys, know me. Miles and all them, they know me because I used to be in those gyms when I was a kid, just walking around and being all quiet and stuff like that. I come from a long, extensive background. My grandpa managed, Joe Louis, Archie Moore, great friends with Archie Moore and stuff like that. George Foreman, who just passed away. Razor Ruddock. So, and that's on the other side of my family. So, we come from a extensive background, and we've been in the boxing business for quite some time. And it's not going nowhere. I'm not going nowhere. So, I got a time. I still got time on my hands, and I still have some goals to accomplish. So, uh, I won't stop until they're met.
anybody particular on your radar right now?
The only fight intentionally that I really want is the Usyk fight. I know he'll probably retire here shortly, but I've always had a dream that I was going to take him out of retirement, and I was going to come on the scenes a little later, because of the pace and the stuff I've had to deal with. But at the end of the day, I hope to uh, win a lot of fights and uh, campaign as a champion for quite some time, and maybe for the next year or two, and then take him out of retirement as he retires shortly after. Take him out of retirement, and we have two major fights, and then I call it. Let the credits roll. So that would be the that's the main plan. Anything else is in there. Just people in my way or in my story, and yeah. So that's my only real intention.
Now, I know a lot of fights you've had, they've been canceled. Seems like the last minute something happens. Does that get discouraging? I mean,
Yes, it does. It does. In some aspects it doesn't because I'm already a guy that always kind of stays in the gym, and so when I peak out like that, like because I didn't fight, I kind of already kind of did my job anyway. Even though I didn't get to perform, the job
oh,
I kind of gained something there. I gained experience. I gained something at those times. So a lot is not missed. Yes, you do lose a lot of experience from actually not able to display it in live action, but a lot of the work and the stuff is done. So yeah, it does suck that my momentum gets killed off and it's been killed off since I started this thing, even as an amateur. I was in the Olympics in court with USA Boxing. That's something a lot of people don't know, but I've been kind of having an uphill battle for quite some time. For what reason is unknown at this point, but for whatever it is, you know, I've stayed due diligent and tried to continue to stay steadfast on the path and have really have no animosity or remorse or any hatred for anything because my only focus is to walk forward and yeah, so that's it. Hopefully that I get in a better position, with my career and everything that at hand, and my story is told, and they make a movie about it, and and that's where we'll go from there.
how about the boxing in Saudi, in Riyadh? It seems to be a real hot thing right now. Have you been there?
Yeah, I was one of the first. I was the first show to open up to the whole Saudi Arabia experience. So it was very new. When I did it, it was very kind of green. When I went, it was like the crowd didn't even know when to clap, or when to be like, oh, ooh. It was just like a awkward moments. A lot of things. It was a different environment. Like I always try to tell the youth to know what type of playing field that you're in, know what environment you're fighting in, and then at that point there wasn't a lot of people yelling, so I was allowed to. It was good because I was able to hear my people. You know what I'm saying? My cornermen very easily. It was a much easier instructions. It's like kind of fighting in the when the basketball players was playing inside in the dome. You know what I'm saying? It was like kind of fighting in the bubble,
Yeah.
in a sense. Where it was you had to have a different type of focus. It's a different type of playing field, and which is just different experience, more experience. We've always obviously dealt with that in the amateurs, where there's a quiet, you're in a quiet room, and it was just one of those things. But now it's a much different. They got everything moving now, and things are being built over there. So a lot of the fights have been happening over there, and hopefully I can get back on there. That won't be my last one.
You think the Saudi boxing is good for boxing in general?
Yeah, it brought money to it. It brought a lot of attention. I think what Turkey is doing I think he has great intentions. It's a beautiful thing that I think that he's been able to accomplish in such a short feat. Um, and I think it's a good thing. I know that there's obviously there's always when there's change, there's always some ruffling of feathers, and there's always some type of energy that fights back. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think at the end of the day, it's going to end up balancing itself out, and everything will work out as smooth as it's supposed to be.
And I noticed the United Kingdom. I have a lot of cats in here from the UK. But heavyweight boxing is hot over in the UK right now too. I mean, you got Moses Atuma, Wadley, Akoli. It's it's a good ground for heavyweights. Yeah, have you been thinking about maybe going over to England?
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually close to having, I'm a mandatory for the WBA heavy WBA title for the regular belt to fight Pulev um, sometime this year. I had been offered a couple other English fights. A Wardley fight been brought up to me, and so yeah, we've had a couple of opportunities to go there, and I know I'm pretty sure that we're going to have a couple more opportunities. Just gonna find the right one, and make sure that whatever we do pick, it's something that's gonna stick. So a lot of my fan base is over there in England, so it would be a very I think fantastic thing for me to compete and to showcase my skills and to show up there. The fans are just second to none when it comes to, just praising you and being there and stuff like that. They legitimately, genuinely love the sport and the athletes and stuff like that. And you'll find a little bit different. It's a little different energy over there, when it comes to that. So, which I embrace and I appreciate. So, I think it'll be a good thing. Hopefully, we'll get this up. Hopefully, the WBA mandatory will be there.
Absolutely, man. And people out here, they're wondering where's Michael Hunter. Look at this heavyweight mix. Guys that he's beaten are getting title shots. Guys that he had life and death with are wearing belts. So I mean, this YouTube is a pretty powerful platform. So is there anything you want to say out there? Because it'll get around. Let people know what's going on with Michael Hunter.
Yeah,
What you
well, one thing is, I haven't stopped boxing out. I've been having a lot of hard times on the business, but not necessarily in the ring. I've had to, my whole learning curve of even, being in this sport as a pro has been different, just because of the situation. Well, I like to fight off my back foot. If anybody knows, I'm a more of a boxer than a aggressive puncher. But over the years, if you can see, if you look at my highlights, I'm very aggressive. I throw a lot of punches, and that's not because I want to. That's just because I want to win. I got to do what I feel like is necessary to get the W. And sometimes, most of the time, I always feel like I'm 2 rounds behind, so I have to play catch up right from the jump. And it shows. You know what I'm saying? If you look at the Barton Bacoli fight, I was a 7-1 underdog. I pretty much beat him pretty much post to post every round. And if I didn't knock him out, I would have lost the fight on a unanimous decision. So, but I wouldn't have been mad. I wouldn't have had not one inkling of crying or anything like that, because I knew what environment where I was. I knew what time it was, and I knew I had to knock him out. So if I didn't knock him out, I felt like I was losing, and that's what I bet on. You know what I'm saying? And that's the only time that you're supposed to enter in the fight, when, you know, you have that confidence you've already won the battle. So
I hear that. Now, my friend Joe, he remembers seeing your dad mess up the heads of Buster Mathis Jr. and Pinklin Thomas. Now, you're not a big heavyweight, and you're taking on monsters. Is it a mental game? Do you get inside these guys' heads? And
oh yeah, absolutely. That was my dad's. Maybe I got rubbed off a little bit, but that was my dad's probably best attribute, that he'll get in your head, and he read you. You know what I'm saying? He knew where the weaknesses were, and I think I have that a little bit of ability that in the ring, that you know I try to just do what it is, to win. You know what I'm saying? Whether I like it or not, you know what I'm saying? And I think that a lot of fighters, um, you know, they fight with the ego. If somebody's strong, especially heavyweights, fighters, other fighters try to be stronger. You know what I'm saying? When the guy is, he outweighs you by 50 pounds, 30 pounds. So you shouldn't try to, you know, go against a brute force like that. You know what I'm saying? So uh, I think that that's one of my abilities, that to be able to read somebody in that fashion. I think that my dad was he could also read, but he was better at getting in people's heads as well. So I think that he did that for quite some time with Mike Tyson and several other fighters. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm. Now, I can tell that you have a deep respect for the history of the sport. You've been around it a long time. Let's go back. Who's your number one heavyweight in the world
I
all
would be
time?
biased. I would have to be biased because of my dad. I would say my dad for one. That's my favorite. Um, yeah, that's my favorite. As a kid growing up, it was Roy Jones Jr. Now that I'm older, I like, I mean, I still love Roy Jones. I like, I've always liked James Toney, though. James Toney, Mike McCullum is one of my favorite fighters to watch. We come from the same, I always tell people we come from the same lineage. I kind of look at him as a sage of my lineage or my sector, if you will, because we all been taught from the same tree. You know what I'm saying? We all have the same um, way of approaching the fight game. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has their own approach to it, and my lineage and my thought process of how to approach it comes from the same line of as Mike McCullum, what I'm saying, and
with,
Archie
with,
Moore and all
with
them.
Eddie
And Mike
Futch and Georgie Benton.
Eddie Futch, George Benton. Yep.
Miles, get in here, Miles. Let people know what's going on, man.
Yeah, well,
I
yeah, I'm
fell
glad he
asleep on
brought up. I'm glad he brought up Mike McCallum because Mike is going to be helping with the training along with my boy Nirmal Lorick because those two
Yes.
guys been with me for the last 40 years. We fought in the amateurs. My man Dave Sieves too. He has the cops and kids, but our cut man Richard Schwartz or Marshall Ensign. We just got to get out the kinks and still work with our other fighters. Like I said, Israel Mercado, Siobhan Stillwell, Mike Hunter, Demetrius Song, and of course Ron Gavel. Ron Gavel was with the money team, but him and Mike are born on the same day. And Ron
That's my
Gavel's a
boy. Shout out to Ronnie.
175. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's his
shout out
man.
to
Yeah,
Ronnie.
there we
That's my
go.
dude. Yeah,
Ron
man, I
Gavel
gotta.
only has a couple of losses. He lost to Benavides twice, so he wants a title shot, Ron.
Yeah, and you know what? It's really sucks because there's a lot of fighters out there right now that don't have a lot of fights. I mean, have a lot of that need a lot. There's a lot of opportunity right there, but it's just not being, it's not being dealt with in the right. And there's tons of great fighters like Ronnie. There's another Kazakhstan guy. You know what I'm saying? The Dartini. I mean, there's so many. There's so many heavyweights, smaller guys, all sorts of them. And it's really unfortunate that boxing is, as far as that, is struggling in that sense. We need to keep busier. So hopefully that the whole TKO and all that, like I said, the turkey thing, people, even and people that hopefully that will inspire other people and other people willing to invest into the sport. We'll see we'll see what happens, but I think it's very good opportunities out there.
And also Bruce. Another thing I'm gonna be trying to work with my daughter because my daughter's working with Matchroom and Eddie Hearn. So she's been with them 7 years. She runs the show just about over there. And a lot of people don't know about her, but Barbara's good. They call her Brittany, but she's really good. She goes overseas. She does a show a month. She's doing a show this May over in New York, and she just came from Atlantic City doing the Boots Ennis fight. But you know my
Actually,
daughter.
hey, this is the shirt actually I wore for the Martin Bacoli.
Yeah.
You see us.
lack of wolves, lack of food.
That's right, baby. And don't let me
Yeah.
see him. Don't let me see him. I'm gonna be on his head. I'm gonna wear
Yeah.
this shirt right for him.
Well, man, you should be at ringside when he fights Effie Ajagba.
Yes. Oh, I will be. Be there.
Because I mean, there's so much opportunities at heavyweight right now. Because Usyk and Tyson Fury. These guys are on the back end of their career. We need some new blood in there. I mean, you've been in the ring with all of them as an amateur. You've beaten half of these guys that are pros right now, and you got a high ranking. It's almost unfathomable why you're not making more noise in the heavyweight division.
Yeah, in popularity, I would be a new face over the masses. But they all know who I am. Uh, and
No, like you said, man, it's high risk, low reward. You got to get one of them straps over your shoulders so they come chasing you, man.
yeah, we're getting on it. We're getting on it. You know,
Pull off would definitely be a good fight to get your name out there. And then
yeah.
he's fighting.
I don't know where it's gonna be or how it's gonna work out, but I know that I'm in line, and I'm just waiting.
Do you have any favorite promoters you like working with?
Sure, man. Anyone that can give me a fight right now. Anyone that can give me an opportunity. They can give me an opportunity. You know, sees worth, sees me as an asset. I'm willing to work with.
All right, man. And anybody who's listening out there, you can hear that, man. There's a guy that's been around for a long time. What is this? You've been in boxing now 13 years now, isn't it, Mike?
Yeah. Quite some time.
You're
Even
definitely
before, you know,
a veteran of the game. You've had many minor titles, regional titles. It's definitely time for a world title shot. You know that you've beaten some of the best. You're in the game. You got the aficionado Miles Bailey in your corner. I mean, all the stars are shining right over here tonight, man. We're definitely going to have to make sure that people know Mike the Bounty Hunter he's in the game. He's looking for action. Mike, do you want to say anything before we close this show down, bro?
Nah, I appreciate you for bringing me on the show. Thank you, Miles.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bruce.
Yeah.
Hey.
We're going to get this Pulev fight and then take Wardley and then go after Usyk and bring it home, Bruce. That's the goal.
That's right.
Absolutely. And, you know, we're gonna push that on here and all you other guys, because see, this is a good platform, this YouTube. It's a good thing to get Miles and you to get on shows, let people know you're out there. People are gonna fall in love with you, man. People are gonna want to see more of you, and that's what it's all about, because we're really a big family on here. And
that's right.
We get things done, man.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all pushing. I know you know, it's basically a new media, you know what I'm saying? So you know, and I definitely need the push. I'm an American heavyweight, you know. I'm the only one that's really untapped, untapped potential right now that hasn't had his opportunity. You know, as you see, if you look at the top 10 right now, there's only one there, and it's me. You know what I'm saying? The next one is Andy Ruiz. I think he's in the 20 position, 20 spot on BoxRec, but you know, he's already had his opportunity in his shot. So I'm the only one that's up there that, you know, his story hasn't been told yet, and it's going to be a great one and a big one. And I'm elated that you guys are a part of it, and that I could be a part of your guys' situation as well, and you guys can help me out pushing this story out.
And Mike beat him in the amateurs too. He beat Ruiz.
Stop it.
I mean, it boggles the mind why you're not getting the exposure that's out there right now, because it fights around every Saturday night, every Sunday now. I mean, there's just so much action going on, and the cream of the crop, they're fighting each other, which is a good thing. It's not just like they're getting the A side and some.
Well, they
Joe.
can't be fighting. They can't, because they're not fighting me. So it can't be the cream of the crop fighting each other.
There we go, man. You know, it's the squeaky wheel gets the grease over here. So we're going to keep the name Michael Hunter out there. And hey, bro, you want to tell them where they can get hold of you? You want any social media platforms or anything?
Michael Bounty Hunter on Instagram. I think it's M Hunter on Twitter. Yeah, but you can find me on my socials. MichaelBountyHunter.com.
All right, man. I'll throw the links on the in the chat below once we close it down. So I appreciate you on here, my brother. Miles, my man.
Yes.
Always coming through for me.
Yes.
Much love to you, brother. And hey, I'll see you cats again soon.
Yeah. And Miles Bailey 530 on Instagram, and Miles Bailey on Facebook. You see me, I always got Mike's picture up there because I'm promoting the rascal out of him to make sure everybody know who he is. Next heavyweight champ of the world. He's gonna shock it. Okay, Bruce, put that up so I could put it around the world so 40 million people can see it, like we said.
Absolutely, Miles. Absolutely, brother. I
All right,
appreciate
Bruce,
you.
I'll be in touch. I'll be looking for that link so I can paste it. Thank you, Bruce.
All right.
And you see, I came through like I told you I would, right?
Absolutely. You're my man, Miles. You're the boxing aficionado. You know everybody out there, bro.
God bless. Yeah, Bruce, I got to send out to all my fans, my loved ones, the people that are watching, because they want to see what's going on with Mike the Bounty Hunter and the rest of the fighters I'm working with. And my team, Nermo Lorick, Mike McCallum, Dave Sieves, Richie the Schwartz, the rabbi I call him, and Marshall Ensign. I can't forget Marshall. Marshall's my guy.
That's it, man. Hey,
all right.
Much love to you, brother Miles.
All right.
Peace out, man. Peace out. All right, man. Hey, great interview, man. Joe, bro, thank you much for coming in here. De Niro was in here, man. I'm sorry I didn't shut you guys out earlier, but I didn't want to interrupt, man. Plus, I had a joint rolled up too, and I can't even find it. So I wasn't my normal self. But Andrew Charles, appreciate you coming in here. Rascal Out, my brother. The Drunk Irishman, Just Boz. Who else came in here, man? I'm going down the list. PGH Big Dog, my brother. Thank you for coming by. Traveling Fools, always, my man. Appreciate it. My sister, Rock Chalk True Crime. Thank you for coming by. My other sister, Bianca. UGC Flame, the Black Horseman. Thank you much for coming in. Rascal Out, my brother. VVO stopped in, man. Hey, thank you much for coming in here. Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and more. Great interview, man. I'm out of here, man. Peace.